Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at noon starts now.
We want to give you a live look over downtown Detroit. It almost looks like a painting there, doesn't it? It's starting to feel like fall outside, or actually feel like winter, being that we might have skipped fall. At least it feels like that. We'll tell you when we can expect a warm-up. Brandon Rue will have that coming up in just a little bit. But first, do we have a done deal? UAW leaders from all over the country are now inside of the GM RenCen. Thank you for joining us for Local 4 News at noon. I'm Evrod Cassimy. UAW leaders are learning the details of this proposed tentative agreement with General Motors. Local 4 business editor Rod Maloney joining us live inside of the RenCen this afternoon. And Rod, where do talks stand right now?
Well, they're getting the details right now, and of course it's one of those things where will they give it thumbs up or thumbs down? We don't know the answer to that yet. We're in the RenCen, and they've been doing the negotiating here since the handshake back in the summertime. But this morning, in fact, let's show you some video of the negotiating team actually going into the Ambassador Ballroom here at the RenCen, as about 200 local presidents and shop committee chairs have come in to get the details on the contract. There is no way of knowing one way or the other which way this is going to go. It doesn't appear it's a slam dunk. We've talked to some of the presidents coming in and out of the meeting room. They say everything seems to be going okay, but we've not heard anything about what is to transpire with this vote. But now let's talk a little bit more about what's going inside the room and hear from Dr. Arthur Schwartz, who is a labor analyst. He used to do this for General Motors, and he's talking about what it is that is happening right now inside the room.
I'm happy that we have a tentative agreement, but based on just waiting on the details for it.
I'm happy. I hope it's what they say it could be.
You're a little nervous, a little concerned?
Always concerned.
You've been around this a while.
Long enough to know better.
Because that means that this could come to an end. And that's what we want. All we want is justice on what's supposed to be taken care of in this country as far as the workers. That's all we want.
What's it been like for you out here?
Cold, but willing to stay out here one more day for a good agreement.
Okay, that obviously wasn't Dr. Arthur Schwartz. That was reaction to the contract. But Arthur Schwartz was saying essentially that certainly the negotiating team wants this to be passed by the local presidents and then moving on. But we're just going to have to wait and see what becomes of it all. So we're waiting. We're in the news conference room, so we'll get the word from them whether it's been thumbs up or thumbs down, and then we go from there. Is it going to be a further negotiation, or is this going to be a situation where they send it out to the locals to get a vote? So we're a long way away from having a settled strike. Reporting live at the RenCen, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All righty, Rod, thank you for the update there. Well, turning to the forecast now, kind of got off to a chilly and windy start on your Thursday. The question is, how's the rest of the day shaping up? Let's send things over to meteorologist Brandon Rue. I stepped outside for a minute and man, it felt like winter, the beginning of winter out there.
It can catch you for sure, especially if you don't have a jacket. The wind, what does it do? Well, it strips the heat radiating from your body. Once temps hit 50, technically wind chill doesn't apply, but a lot of the area is still in the 40s with these northwest winds 15 to 20, gusting even stronger. Here's a look at some of those gusts. Currently 30 miles an hour at Metro and nearly 30 as it's been most of the day through Oakland County, out in Washtenaw County as well. So what does it feel like? Still upper 30s in Port Huron and Pontiac, lower 40s for the rest. That's what you want to dress for. Sky conditions aren't bad. Southern Ontario may get a little more cloud cover and maybe a spritz or two, but temps on our way to about 54, staying breezy all the way through sunset. Low pressure storm maker moves away, high pressure moves in, and the winds squeeze in between. But high pressure, Evrod, means good things for your weekend.
All righty, Brandon, thank you. Detroit police are investigating a smash and grab at a Coney Island. So take a look at the damage here at Aurora Coney Island on West 7 Mile, right near Berg Road on the city's west side. Police tell us that 4 to 5 suspects used a Dodge Ram to just blow through the front door there. The thieves then loaded an ATM onto the truck, and investigators are now looking at the restaurant surveillance video to try and identify those responsible. We've got some sad news to report for you this afternoon, as longtime Democratic Congressman Elijah Cummings has passed away. He was a champion of civil rights and a key player in the impeachment investigation of President Trump. Tributes are pouring in from all over the country. Michigan Congressman Dan Kildee says, quote, "Our nation has lost a true warrior." The 68-year-old had health issues in recent years, including heart surgery back in 2017. Flags outside of the White House and the U.S. Capitol are now being flown at half-staff. Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo are in Turkey to mount an improbable push for a ceasefire in Syria. Here's Keir Simmons reporting from Ankara.
High-stakes meeting between Vice President Pence and the Turkish leader, a meeting with little chance of success after President Trump himself undermined their position with comments yesterday.
Our soldiers are not in harm's way, as they shouldn't be, as two countries fight over land. That has nothing to do with us.
The Secretary of State saying he will call for a ceasefire, but there is little chance of that on the ground in Syria. Turkish forces fighting street to street in urban conflict. Reports now of more than 200 civilians killed and Turkish artillery firing on Syrian towns. The one leader in the world who appears to have a command of the situation, President Putin, as America's relationship with Turkey, a key NATO ally, is in crisis. Russian forces said to be trying to hold the line to prevent this conflict from escalating. President Erdogan says after this meeting, he may head to Moscow for a meeting with President Putin, meanwhile responding to President Trump's call for a ceasefire by saying, "We never will." Keir Simmons, NBC News, Ankara, Turkey.
All righty, Kieran, thank you. Later this afternoon, two Florida businessmen with ties to President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, will face a judge. This is Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman. They were arrested last week on a 4-count indictment. Both men allegedly worked with Giuliani as part of his dealings in Ukraine. Their charges include conspiracy, making false statements to the Federal Election Commission, and falsification of records. Now at noon, the 2-week Click It or Ticket campaign across Michigan is officially underway. October is the second deadliest month when it comes to people killed while not wearing a seatbelt. And that's why it's important for you to remember to buckle up while you're out enjoying any fall festivities. Michigan law requires drivers, front seat passengers, and passengers 15 years or younger to be buckled up when inside of a vehicle. The fine and costs for not wearing a seatbelt is $65. Ford is doubling down on its commitment to electric vehicles. Next at noon, why you should be seeing more charging stations around town. But first, an officer saves a man just seconds before a train barrels into his car. We'll tell you what happened before that daring rescue next.